You can have the same props as usual, a couple blocks or books. What else? A strap or something long to extend your reach, which could even be a shirt with long sleeves. And a blanket, which I have folded and I'm sitting on. And if you're sitting cross-legged, you can come into a variation, whatever is comfortable for you, of Sukhasana, which means sweet or easy pose. So if sitting with your legs crossed either at the shins or placing one foot in front of the other is not possible, or it doesn't feel sweet or easy as the pose is named, then find a different position either with more height or sit up on a chair, or you can even take blocks and place them under your legs for a little more support, which I'm gonna do today. Okay, and then make sure you could feel both of your sitting bones, both halves of your pelvis evenly. You can rock forward and back and side to side just to ensure that. And then lift your spine up from the very bottom, the tailbone, up through your lumbar, up through your thoracic where it attaches to your ribs, all the way up towards the base of your skull. And then even lift up through the back of your skull, dropping your chin slightly towards that little notch in your throat. So you just kind of let the head angle down ever so slightly to relax the neck and the base of your skull. And then you can close your eyes once you feel weightless in your upper body. And start to pay attention to your breath. And just notice your normal or your natural rhythm, depth, length, before you go about changing anything. Notice which parts of your body move as you inhale and exhale. And this will be different for different people. You could feel it in your abdomen, all the way around your rib cage, maybe into your back, your chest, even down to the pelvic floor, or even up to the soft palate inside your mouth. And as you grow more sensitive to your breath, you might feel it everywhere. Even the parts that seem unrelated, your arms, your legs, your hands, your feet. All of that is vibrating, pulsating with aliveness because you're breathing. Now make your breath more regular. So even out the length between inhale and exhale so they are the same. And you might like to use a count for this, maybe 3 seconds, maybe 5 seconds, maybe longer if you've been practicing for a while. Notice the effect this evenness has on your mind. When practiced regularly and often enough, this tends to calm the mind, calm the nerves, so we're better able to concentrate and sit still. And this would even be a type of meditation, just observing your breath here as you sit quietly. And stay here for about 1 more minute. I'm going to read a little passage about meditation, which is called dhyana in yoga. Meditation does not make the mind dull. Rather, in meditation, the mind is still but razor sharp, silent but vibrant with energy. This state cannot be achieved without a firm, stable sitting posture where the spine ascends and the mind descends and dissolves into the consciousness of the heart, where the true self reveals itself. So now join your hands to your heart, your physical center, this region of the chest, also your spiritual center. And whatever is on your heart today, can give it voice silently in your mind. And sometimes that's a need, a gratitude, a joy, it could be anything. And take a deep breath in. And this time as you exhale, let it out your mouth. And start to rub your hands together. Warm yourself up. And once your palms are warm, cover your eyes. Blink your eyes open, and then take the hands back down. Namaste, and thank you for joining me to practice this morning. All right, so you can come off of your blocks if you were using them. Those are just going to get in the way. And feel free to readjust your seat if you need to. We'll stay seated for a few more minutes. And take a breath in once you feel stable through your bottom half. And stretch your arms all the way out or even up, whatever feels most accessible. And then when you get to the top of your inhale, just pause and wait for your exhale. Slowly lower the arms back down. And we'll just do that twice more. Inhale, take your arms out and up. Spread from the center of your chest all the way out through your fingertips. And exhale, relax the arms all the way back down. And do this one more time. Breathing in, broadening across your chest, your back, lifting up, and exhale, keeping all that length, just relax your arms down. Okay, now interlace your fingers and flip your palms forward in front of you, right at about chest level. So you zipper lock the knuckles together and push out through the heel of the hand, and just feel that stretch there. Through the wrists, the palms, maybe even a little bit through the elbow joint. And then turn your body slightly to the right. And keep pushing out through your palms, draw your arm bones back into the shoulder socket, lift your chest. Exhale, come back through center. And inhale, go off to the left. Same thing. Just revolving your torso and letting your arms receive a stretch as you do this. Come back to center and relax your hands down. Okay, roll your shoulders a few times. Clean them out, so to speak, after that. And then go the other direction. Just create more fluids circulating through this region, the chest, the shoulders, the arms. And now interlace your fingers again, but flip the other pinky and other thumb on top. So whichever you usually cross with, go the non-dominant way or the awkward way. Same thing. This time turn to the left first. So you're just repeating the same stretch or same pose as we did before. Come back through center and go off to the right. Even notice the muscles around the sides of the ribs engage to turn the torso. Come forward. Now, if you have the flexibility and access with your shoulders, lift your arms up. They could be at an angle, or you could go straight overhead, trying to draw the upper arms back in line with your ears, and press through the hands to straighten the arms any extra amount. Take a couple breaths here. If this is not accessible, the hands could be separate. You could also hold a strap between your palms. One more breath. And then lower the arms down, shake out your wrists, give them a rinse. Make a fist a few times with your hands, grip and release. Okay, and then shake out once more for good measure. And come off of your seat. All right, so we'll go into some lunges now. And if your knees are sensitive, which mine are, you could put a blanket or even 2, 3, whatever you need on the floor to pad your kneecaps. Okay. If you're not kneeling, you could also do this with your knees off the ground. It's a little more effortful, but it can be done. Okay, my blocks are gonna go in front, about shoulder width apart. Step your right foot forward in between the blocks, which could be at 3 different heights depending on what kind of yoga block you have. If you have a book, you might just have one height where it's stable. And this just gives you a little prop up like a stilt. Now stack your knee over your heel so that your shin bone is now perpendicular to the floor, or as best you can judge. Your foot points straight forward, drill the heel down. Back knee is roughly under your hip or a little bit behind it. If your knee is sensitive, lift it off the ground, push through your heel and puff your thigh up towards the ceiling. Okay, and we're just gonna take a few breaths here in a lunge to open the pelvis. Breathing in and out. Squeeze your feet together. Even if your back knee is on the ground, this is gonna help to square your pelvis forward. Feel your spine lifting away from the floor. After a few breaths, you might even be able to extend up a little bit more and balance. Take one more breath here. And as you exhale, switch sides. So left foot goes forward, stacking the knee on top of the heel, toes point straight ahead. Even track your knee over the center of your foot so it doesn't wobble in or out. Especially if you have some knee instability, this is really key. Back knee under the hip or a bit behind. Can tuck the toes for balance or lift the leg away from the floor, puffing your inner thigh towards the ceiling and pressing back through the heel, and then lengthening your spine forward, probably at an angle. With the knee down, same idea. Take a few breaths. Every exhale, plant your feet even more firmly into the ground and try to scissor them together to square your pelvis. Every inhale, lengthen and extend your spine, broaden your chest. Maybe you come up a bit higher. You can even hold your hips if you're feeling secure with your balance. Take one more breath. Come back down, switch sides again. And this time, we're gonna move a little bit more dynamically in and out of the pose. So with your knee on the floor, your inhale will be to rock your pelvis forward, even just a little micro movement. And exhale, send your hips back, beginning to straighten into your front leg. Maybe the toes, the ball of the foot, even the sole of the foot comes off the ground to land on your heel. And then you rock forward, back towards the ball of the foot, and let the pelvis lower. With the knee off the ground, it's the same idea. Rocking onto the heel, lifting the toes. You can always have your knee bent. And then coming forward back into your lunge. Keep your spine straight. Your neck and your head are relaxed, just going along for the ride. Use the blocks or even a chair seat or a table, a ledge, whatever you have to balance yourself. Next time you come forward, let's switch sides. So left foot forward, right foot goes back. Drop the knee if you like. Coming into your lunge. Maybe dip the pelvis further forward this time, opening up a little more internally into that front right thigh, the hip flexors, across the abdomen, even into the lower back. And then as you exhale, shift your weight back, lift the front of the foot away from the floor, and stretch through your hamstrings, and just ebb and flow here, back and forth. Notice if one side, one leg, is more willing or more obstinate than the other. That's pretty typical. But the more we practice yoga, the more balanced we feel, and we start to learn our habits so we can correct them or accept them. One more time. All right, now come forward, lift your back knee if it wasn't up, and step forward. Bend your knees, bring your hands to your hips, and push down through your heels. Come up with a straight spine, lift your chest. All right, so now we're standing. You can move your props out of the way for now. And if you warmed up a little bit like I did, go ahead and remove a layer. That's a good thing. It's one of the benefits of yoga. We crank up the heat a little bit. It's a good cleanse for the body. All right, come to stand on your 2 feet, hips distance apart, with your toes aiming straight forward. Bring your hands to your hips, bend your knees a little bit, drop your tailbone, lift up through the front of your pelvis, engage your belly. Maybe you straighten your legs and push down through your heels more. If you feel a lot of pull at your lower back, maybe a softer bend here. Okay, lift up through your chest, draw your ribs back, relax your arms, relax your shoulders, and then just as we did seated, lengthen through the back of your neck, the base of the skull, tuck your chin slightly. And just stand here for a few breaths in Tadasana while you breathe. You can even close your eyes if you feel secure in your balance. Notice your breath. So this is a moment of standing meditation. Now open your eyes if they were closed. Find one point at the floor to look at. Take your arms out and up. Stretch towards the sky. And exhale, lower your arms down, bend your knees, and lean forward, bringing your hands to your thighs, your shins, or possibly even the floor. Now I said you didn't need blocks, but you might like to use them to put your hands on. Drop your head, tuck your chin, and just shake your head slowly from side to side, maybe a little bit back and forth, to further encourage the neck, the head to relax. Inhale, come up halfway. Look forward, draw your shoulders back, open and broaden your chest. Exhale, fold back down. Push into your feet, bend your knees. Come all the way up, sweeping your arms wide and towards the sky. And then exhale, lower your arms down. Okay, we'll do that twice more. Surya Namaskar, or half sun salutations. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward, releasing through the neck and the head, dropping your mind. Inhale, come up halfway. Look out. Engage the fronts of your thighs. Exhale, fold back down. Push into your feet, bend your knees, come to stand tall. Spread your fingers at the very top, and exhale, relax your arms. One more time. Inhale. And this is a breathing exercise first and foremost. Exhale. Inhale up halfway. This is Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, full Uttanasana, or intense pose. Push into the feet. Inhale, rise, stand tall. Exhale, arms down beside you. Okay, now we'll do a little side bend here. I'm not sure if the screen is cutting off my arms, so you're going to interlace your fingers. In fact, let me just tilt the screen back. And just like we did seated, you can stretch your arms up above you, keeping the elbows bent, or pushing through your wrists, straightening your arms as much as possible. So you lift up, draw the triceps or biceps back in line with your ears, zipper lock your fingers together, take a breath in, and exhale, lean over to the right. And feel the side stretch now all the way down from your wrist, through the armpit, into your hip, maybe even down the side of the leg. Come back up. Exhale over to the left. Inhale back up. Exhale again, other side. Squeeze your feet towards each other without actually moving them. Inhale back up, exhale lean. Engage the fronts of your thighs, a little tone through the buttocks as well. Once more, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Come back up and relax the arms down. Now I should have said if you couldn't have zipper locked the hands, you could also have held a strap between your hands to do that. So do that a second time if you need to. All right, now step your feet wide apart, about a leg's distance, and turn your right foot out and your left foot in. So your right foot's gonna point to the short edge of your mat, your back foot angles in about 45 degrees towards the long edge of your mat. Align your right heel with your left arch. Bend your front knee so it tracks right over the center of the foot. You could keep it bent or start to straighten the leg, engaging the thigh and stamping your feet down, both evenly and firmly. Reach your arms out to the sides, breathe in. And as you exhale, lean forward, extending through your side waist. Bring your hand to your leg wherever it can hold comfortably. Other hand comes to your hip, and then lean your torso back, your chest, all the way up through that top shoulder, and maybe extend the arm above you. Now, if this is not appropriate, you can hold the shoulder or continue to hold the hip. And this is a variation of Trikonasana, or triangle pose. You could also use your blocks, 1 or 2, and bring your hand to rest on a block or a ledge if that's more comfortable. Take one more breath, reach your hips that way, your torso that way, and slowly come up and change sides. So bring the blocks with you if you like to use them. They can go on the inside or the outside of the foot. Now left foot points to the short edge, right foot turns in, aiming towards the long edge. Align front heel to back arch. Reach your arms wide, stand up nice and tall. Soft bend in the knee, especially if your hamstrings feel a little bit taut today. Wait for your exhale and lean forward until you can't anymore. Then you lower the hand to your leg or to your block setup. Right hand comes to your hip, shoulder, or stretch it on up, maybe even in line with your ear. Lean back, roll your chest back, your ribs back, even your belly back. Imagine there was a wall behind you to support you. Dig your front ball of the foot down, the outer edge of your back foot down. Take one more breath. And then slowly come on up. Move your blocks. We'll go to the other side now. You don't need your blocks for this one. So revolve your feet back the same way. Right toes point to the top edge, back foot angles in. This time, lunge so that your shin becomes perpendicular to the floor or thereabouts, and your thigh starts to become more parallel to the floor or thereabouts. Now the lower you go, the more energy is required to support yourself. So this leg might fatigue, and just keep that in mind if you need to back out of it. Take your hands to your hips. This is a good place to pause, especially if you have high blood pressure. If you feel safe, the arms can come out to the sides. And just keep your palms facing down. Maybe gaze over your right middle finger. Now turn that gaze just for a moment. Take a little peek at your knee. Make sure it's not drifting inward to cover your big toe. So you want to keep your big toe in your peripheral vision and guide that hip outward. Take one more breath here. Imagine being pulled in opposite directions at the same rate. And then lower the hands to the hips. Pivot your feet, other side. Bending the knee, getting as low as you like into your warrior two. Guiding that knee towards the baby toe side of your foot so you can still see the big toe side. Anchor down through the outer edge of your back foot, stay here, or stretch your arms out. If you like, this time you can turn your palms up and just feel how that relaxes your shoulders a bit more. Gazing over your left middle finger now. Breathe wide across your chest, wide across your back, low down into your pelvis. And basically just fill your whole self with your breath, with prana or energy. One more inhale. And with your exhale, come out of the pose, pivot back the other way. So the legs are getting a workout today. Same setup with the legs, bending low into your lunge. Lower you go, the more difficult it is. Now we're going to kind of combine warrior two with triangle into a pose called Parsvakonasana or side angle. So stretch your arms out wide, just like we did for warrior two. Take a breath in. And then exhale, lean forward, this time lowering your forearm to your thigh like a little ledge. And just rest it there. Bring your left hand to your hip, your shoulder, or lengthen it alongside your ear, turning your palm back. So your pinky is down, your thumb is up. And feel that long stretch from the outer edge of your ankle all the way up through the hip, the ribs, the armpit, elbow, wrist, baby fingernail, all the way through the side body. Take one more breath. Push into your feet. Exhale, come back up. Change sides. Okay, so setting up like warrior two, lunging, taking care that that knee is not wandering inward. Bring your hands to your hips or take them out to the sides. Inhale. Exhale, lean your side waist forward towards your thigh. Lower the elbow onto the shelf of your leg. Hand goes to your hip, shoulder, or reach it up at a diagonal. Turn your palm back towards the wall behind you. And that's going to make that shoulder or your arm bone fit more snug into the shoulder socket. Breathe into that whole side line of the body. It's like a big yawn. Revolve your ribs, your chest back a little bit. Take one more breath. And then push into your feet. Come all the way up. Heel toe your feet back in one at a time. Shake your hands out, shake your feet out if you need to. Reestablish your breath, which may have quickened. That's good. And we'll do a balancing pose, which is a little less exertive. So stand on your right foot and bring your left foot to either your ankle, your shin, or actually one more option, your inner thigh. And if it is difficult to balance here, which for many of us it is, you could hold on to a chair with a free hand, whichever you like. You could turn it and let the wall support you. You could even push your knee lightly into the wall to keep your body in place in the tree pose. So it's difficult to see from the side, but the wall would be right here to support my knee. So wherever you can manage, foot into the leg, push the leg back into the foot, create a seal. Hands could hold your hips. If they're not holding something else, they could come to your chest, whoop, or they could reach up towards the sky, just like branches. Find one point to gaze at a few feet in front of you on the floor. If your foot is wavering a little bit, that's very normal. This is a great way to strengthen your ankle and your feet. Nail your big toe down. That tends to be the part that likes to lift up, the big toe and the inner heel. Take one more breath and slowly come down and step onto the floor. Shake out that standing foot for a moment and switch sides. So left foot plants down. Could even spread your toes to take up a bit more space. And then right foot to the inner ankle. So you could rest here in your tree pose. This could be it. You could pause at your shin, or you could take your leg up higher. And you don't have to look the same on each side, so just do what you need to balance. Push the foot and the leg into one another. Create a little seal, just like your hands. If you want to change the position of your hands and arms, you could do that. Could get creative, really anything that you like. Could even do that interlacing of the fingers and reach up overhead. Notice how the foot wants to rock like a seesaw back and forth. Push a little more through the inner edge of the foot. For most of us, that tends to lift away first. Fix your gaze on one point and take one more breath. Then slowly lower down, shake it out. Okay, and we'll do one more standing pose. So for this one, you could use your 2 blocks. You could also use the seat of a chair or a table as a ledge, and this will be to support your arms. So I'm going to take the blocks in front, shoulder width apart. Otherwise, you stand facing the chair or table. Step your right foot forward, your left foot back, and bring your hands to your hips. Your right foot is directly pointing towards the top edge of your mat. Your back foot is either pointing straight forward or the heel is in, the toes are out more towards the top left corner of your mat. So you have a little bit of a turnout through your back left thigh. Drop your tailbone, lift up through the front of your pelvis, pull the belly muscles in strong. Take a breath in to lift even higher. And exhale, lean forward, squeeze your elbows back or up towards the ceiling, depending on how far you lean. You could stay here, or your hands come to your ledge for support. Table, chair, or blocks. Squeeze your feet together and feel how that squares your pelvis. Sends the right hip back, the left hip forward. Leveling off your sacrum, so you could balance a little cup of tea right at the back of the pelvis. Lengthen your spine, which may mean bending your right knee to allow the pelvis to tip forward and the spine to grow even longer. Take one more breath. And then push into the feet, bend your front knee, slowly come up and change sides. Left foot forward, right foot goes back. Front foot straight forward, back foot angles out slightly towards the top right corner of your mat. Feet are hips distance apart or about a foot, foot and a half wide. Hands come to the pelvis. Squeeze your elbows, lift your chest. Inhale. Exhale, lean forward. Find an appropriate angle. So you're going for a stretch to the whole back side of the body. Make sure your spine is not being sacrificed here. You can always bend your front knee more. Lower your hands to the support, blocks, chair, table, whatever you like. Squeeze your feet in. Send your left hip back. Steer your right hip forward. Leveling off the back of the hips. Making space for the entire spine to grow an extra inch. One more breath. And then bend your front knee, push into your feet, slowly come up. Switch sides one more time. Right foot forward, left foot back. Same procedure, or for this last option, you could hold elbows or forearms behind your back. Okay, so that's your choice. And that would mean not using the support of your props in front of you. So if that's too much, you go back to hands on the hips or place your hands and arms on your support. Inhale, lift yourself up. Draw your shoulders back if you're taking the variation. And exhale, lean forward. Maybe not as far this time, because now your shoulders are coming into the mix. You have to rely on your feet a little more. Push into the ball of your front foot, firm the quadriceps, Root down through the back, left heel. And let your legs support the upper body. Take one more breath. Bend your knees, slowly hinge back up and change sides. You could cross your arms the awkward way behind you if you like. Set up your feet so you're stable. Take a breath in when you're ready to prepare. And exhale, begin to lean forward, opening the chest, drawing the lower back, the kidneys in towards the front body. Deepening your thighs further into the hip sockets, maybe leaning forward a tiny bit more, but no need to push it if you can't. One more breath. Bend into your front knee, hinge back up, unbind the arms, step forward, move your blocks to the side, and have a seat. I'm going to use a cushion to sit on, so if you would like, you can fold a blanket under your bottom, and that just gets the pelvis to tilt forward so your spine can go upright a little more easily. Especially if you tend to slouch, this is really, really useful. You could even do this when you're sitting, working. Could try it in a car, placing something underneath your bottom and just see if that gets you to tilt forward a little bit anytime you get the chance. Legs stretched out in front of you, toes pull back, push your heels forward. Hands can go beside you, just like you're staking your spine for a little extra oomph. And this is Dandasana, or staff pose. Lengthen through the back of the neck, slight tuck of the chin. Watch yourself breathe here. Just a couple more breaths. Okay, now draw the soles of your feet in. I'm going to turn forward just so you can see me. So let me adjust the screen first. Okay, and we're going to practice Baddha Konasana, or bound angle pose. So I'm still sitting on my blanket to keep my hips propped up a little bit. Draw the soles of your feet in and create a diamond shape with the angles at your discretion. So the further the feet go away from you, the less intense it is on the inner thighs, the groin, the hips. The closer you draw the heels in, the more intense of a stretch this is. So your choice. If your knees are sensitive, be prudent. Prop them up with blocks, blankets, or lessen the angle, okay? Make sure your spine is upright. You could even do this sitting up against a wall. Take a breath here. And exhale. Relax down into the inner thighs, the groins. And if you can't relax, just send your breath there. And maybe the muscles start to release after a few cycles of breath. One more inhale. And full exhale. Okay, now take your right leg forward and cross your left foot over to the outside of your thigh or your knee. Hold the leg with your hands. So this is helping to draw your spine in towards the thigh to lift yourself up so you don't collapse and slouch. Okay, this could be your pose, or you take the right hand behind you, inhale to draw the left arm up, and exhale, either grab hold of your thigh again, turning yourself off to the right, or your elbow might even come to the inside of the knee and gently press against the thigh. Now this is the opposite of the traditional pose, so you have to make sure that your thigh is pushing back into the arm to give yourself some support. And make sure that the knee isn't overstretching. Come back. Now switch, other side, which is the more traditional. Bring your left hand behind you. Inhale, breathe the right arm up. And exhale, turn now to the left, either hugging or drawing the elbow to the outside of the knee for a little bind. You might find that your breath becomes more shallow when you twist, and that is typical. Don't have to fight that. Getting a good compression on your internal organs. Take one more breath, and then release. Stretch the leg out and change sides. So now we have left leg out straight, cross the right foot over, hug it in. This could be your pose here without the twist. You just stay here and breathe. If you'd like to go for the twist on either side, start by bringing your left hand behind you. Inhale, take the right arm up, and exhale, either hold the front of the knee as you turn to the left, or bring the elbow to the inside of your knee to leverage yourself a little deeper. Push the leg back into the elbow so you're not just pushing out with all of your might. Take one more breath. And then unbind, go the other way, switching hands. Left hand goes behind you, or right hand, excuse me. Left arm lifts up. Exhale, turn yourself to the right. Grab hold, hugging the knee in, or bring the elbow to the outside. It's like you're going to give someone a high five with this hand. Take one more breath here. And then unbind, uncross, and have a seat again, just like we started class, in Sukhasana. So this could be with cushions underneath you. You could use blocks under your thighs. Whatever you need for support. And we're going to do a couple practices, deeper practices in yoga. One is called Pratyahara, which is sensory withdrawal, and one is dhyana, or meditation. And we'll just do the Pratyahara first to prepare. So with this technique, you have a couple options. You could simply sit and close your eyes. Okay, drawing your focus inward and breathing. We'll just be here for a couple minutes. If you would like to use a hand gesture, I'll give you two options. Traditionally, you use your fingers to close off your senses. So we're trying to close off the eyes, the ears, the nose, and the mouth. And this is called Sanmukhi Mudra. And San means 6, Mukhi means mouths being the senses. So you can take your thumbs and close off the ears by placing them gently into that little flap in front of the ear, and then rest the other 4 fingers on top of the head with your elbows wide. Okay, so this could be your gesture if you want to take the simple version, pushing with enough pressure that you close off sound, outside sound, and then close your eyes and breathe. If you'd like to use the full gesture, keep the thumbs. Place your index finger right at the space below your eyebrow against that bone. Your middle finger gently over your eyelashes, so you're closing the eyelid. Your ring finger gently below your nostrils, so you could feel your breath. And your pinky below your lower lip. And this would be the mudra, or the hand gesture. Now stay here and listen to the silence within. Take about 5 more breaths if you can hear me. Lower your hands when you're ready and just rest the backs of your hands in your lap, either on your thighs, your knees, or right across the groins. One palm over the other, maybe your thumbs gently touch. And we'll practice just a couple more minutes of meditation, which for many of us is more like concentration. And this is something to be practiced regularly every day in order to receive the full benefits. But even just a few minutes is worth it. And keep your eyes closed and turn your awareness inward, as if you could still block out sight, sound, smell, taste, even touch. One technique is breath observation, which we practiced earlier. Another technique is to use a mantra or repeat a word, chanting that silently. So if you like, you can silently chant the mantra Om, O-M, inside your mind, just repeating that maybe once as you inhale, once as you exhale. Or you could choose another one-syllable word like love, peace, joy, whatever else you could think of. So in your mind, you're repeating that mantra, Om, Om, Om. Now you could choose to let the mantra go, slowly come back to the room, come back to your body, open your eyes with a soft gaze and lie on your back. Or if you prefer to stay practicing meditation, you could do that. Make yourself comfortable And you might need a couple little stretches if sitting for a few minutes like that was unusual. You could draw one knee in and just hug it towards the belly. Maybe roll the ankle around. Go the other direction. And then let that foot relax, switch sides, give the leg a little squeeze. Rotate your ankle a few times each way. Set that foot down. Take your arms out and just gently sway, drawing the legs to the right, and then drawing the legs over to the left. So you're letting the lower body twist one way, the upper body twist the other, or just lie still. And decompress the spine, all of your joints. And once your body is satisfied, set yourself up for Shavasana or corpse pose. You can take the legs long, feet wider than your hips, arms beside you, little space between the sides of the body and the inseam of the arm, palms turned up. Relax the back of your skull. Even here, gently tuck your chin to feel length across the neck. Broaden from the center of your spine, wide across your shoulders, broad across your back. Relax your arms, relax your belly. Relax your hips, the flesh of your buttocks, all the way down the length of your legs. In Shavasana, we let the body go to sleep, but keep the mind alert. So with every exhale, relax your body even more. And watch yourself as you relax with a soft awareness. Almost as you rest, time seems to stand still, and all of your concerns are no longer relevant. to your body, back to your breath. Deepen your breath and begin to move your fingers, move your toes, even move your head from side to side. Gently draw your feet close to you one at a time. You could bring your knees in, like a little fetal position, and then slowly roll to your right side, or whichever side's comfortable. Rest your head on your upper arm, just like a pillow. And when you're ready, use your hands to press yourself up and have a seat. Make yourself comfortable, sit tall, and close your eyes. I'm going to read this passage about meditation again, and this is quoted from B.K.S. Iyengar. Meditation does not make the mind dull. Rather, in meditation, the mind is still but razor sharp, silent but vibrant with energy. This state cannot be achieved without a firm, stable sitting posture, where the spine ascends and the mind descends and dissolves into the consciousness of the heart, where the true self reveals itself. And join your hands together in front of your chest, in front of your spiritual heart, and listen for a moment to whatever is on your heart now, which may be different from the beginning of class. Whatever's there, acknowledge that. Take a deep breath in and breathe out through your mouth. Rub your hands together. And once they're warm, you can cover your eyes. Blink your eyes open into your hands. And then draw your hands back down. Namaste. Thank you.